It is roughly 430,000 years ago in what is now northern Spain. There is no police station, no referee, no armor, and no friend holding a phone to record the fight. Two people stand close enough to grab each other. One shove becomes a struggle. A stone comes up, a skull goes down. So how did ancient humans fight before metal weapons turned violence into an industry? First, a correction. Humans did not spend prehistory fighting only with their fists. Wooden weapons from Schöningen, Germany, dated broadly to around 200,000 to 300,000 years ago, show that carefully shaped spears existed long before bronze or iron. The real question is how people fought before swords, armor, organized armies, and standardized military weapons. The answer begins at Cima de los Huesos, the pit of bones inside Spain's Atapuerca cave system, a prehistoric crime scene whose evidence sat underground for nearly 500,000 years. Among the remains of at least 28 early humans, researchers reconstructed Cranium 17, dated to about 430,000 years ago. It has 2 deep fractures above the left eye. The wounds are similar in shape, came from different angles, and showed no healing. The likeliest explanation is 2 deliberate blows with the same hard object during a face-to-face attack. At that distance, fighting was ugly and practical. People could grab hair or clothing, lock arms, shove, trip, bite, kick, and drive an opponent into the ground. A rock, branch, or heavy bone could turn a wrestling match into a killing within seconds. The head was an obvious target because one solid blow could end resistance quickly. Did the absence of metal make the fight gentle? No, not even close. Strength mattered, but balance, surprise, and numbers mattered more. A smaller person who attacked first, or had 2 relatives nearby, could overwhelm someone stronger. Ancient fighting was probably less like a heroic duel and more like a sudden assault beside a campfire. Now move forward to Jebel Sahaba, a cemetery in the Nile Valley near modern Sudan, dating to roughly 13,400 to 18,600 years ago. This community lived during severe environmental pressure, when shrinking resources could turn a good fishing place into something worth defending. A modern reanalysis of 61 individuals found that 41 carried healed or unhealed injuries linked to interpersonal violence. Researchers documented more than 100 previously unrecorded lesions, including damage caused by small stone projectiles. Fighting had expanded beyond grabbing distance. Attackers could launch projectiles before closing in, hide near paths, strike people gathering food, and retreat before the victim's group responded. A projectile did not need to kill immediately. It only needed to slow someone down. Then came the rush. Once a person was injured, several attackers could surround them, knock them down, and prevent escape. Numbers beat elegance. Terrain beat bravery. Surprise beat almost everything. Because some injuries had healed while others were fresh at death, Jebel Sahaba probably records repeated raids or ambushes rather than one enormous battle. Violence had become a pattern, not just a single explosion of anger. Centuries later, Thomas Hobbes would argue that human life without strong government was naturally violent. He was basically the historical version of that dinner guest who turns every topic into proof that he was right. The bones suggest something messier. Ancient people could be violent, but they survived through intense cooperation within their own groups. Our final stop is Nataruk, west of Lake Turkana in Kenya, around 10,000 years ago. Researchers found a group of hunter-gatherers who appear to have died during a violent encounter beside what was then a lagoon. 10 of 12 relatively complete skeletons showed signs of violent death. The evidence included crushed skulls, broken bones, stone projectiles, and an obsidian bladelet embedded in one skull. Several bodies were left where they fell instead of being buried. The attack appears to have combined distance and close combat. Projectiles could scatter the group or injure people first. Attackers could then rush isolated victims, strike the head and ribs, restrain anyone trying to flee, and use several people against one target. That combination reveals the basic logic of fighting before metal weapons: weaken from a distance, attack from an advantage, overwhelm quickly, and deny the other side time to organize. Ancient humans did not need swords to understand tactics. Archaeologists still debate whether Nataruk was a massacre, warfare, or another kind of group conflict. The injuries prove serious violence, but not what started it. Food, territory, revenge, or captured resources are all possible. The dead left no meeting notes. Here's the modern contrast. The Queensberry Rules, published in 1867, helped formalize boxing with gloves, timed rounds, and limits on wrestling. Humans had already spent hundreds of thousands of years following the opposite system. Use the ground, use your allies, use whatever is nearby, and survive. Zoom out, and ancient fighting was not simply fist fighting before someone invented the sword. It mixed wrestling, blunt force attacks, projectiles, ambushes, group pressure, and control of terrain. Metal later made weapons more durable and deadly, but it did not invent the tactics. Technology did not create human aggression. It amplified choices humans were already capable of making. But the same people who learned to attack together also learned to protect children, care for the injured, share food, and defend one another. Our past contains both instincts. Civilization did not erase either one. It only gave us more rules about which one we are allowed to use. So the next time someone claims swords taught humans how to fight, remember Cranium 17. And keep an eye on anyone holding a suspiciously archaeological-looking rock.